You need to prioritize healing in order to grow. And with that, I mean healing from any trauma that you've sustained, healing from any hurt that anybody else has put upon you, or even worse, any hurt that you've put in yourself through. And always make sure that your cup is filled. And yes, we keep on talking about that cup, but I want you to understand the significance. And I hope I've drilled it into you at this point. But I actually have something that really represents that, and that'll pop up later on in the video. But yes, you need to prioritize your healing in order to grow. And a lot of people have limited their growth due to them not wanting to do the work of healing. Healing is going to take some time. Understand that healing yourself is a long process, and it is a continuous process. I feel like I found a representation of how the process of healing truly goes, and I'll put it on screen right now, and I'll continue to talk. What you should see on the screen right now is a glass filled with some form of liquid, and you should see a faucet of water running. That glass is you. That glass is you holding within all your pain, all your trauma, all your hurt, anxiety, or any of the issues that you go through inside of life. That is you holding through all of that. Water flowing into that cup is to represent you pouring back into yourself. You see the representation of the cup now? Do you see the significance of the cup now? Is you pouring back into yourself, and as you pour back into yourself, you'll see that on screen the water is starting to become diluted. It's starting to become clearer. But I want you to truly see how much is pouring into this cup in order to dilute it and bring clarity to this cup. That's the work that you got to put in. That's the healing process. That's how long it is going to take. And even to some extent, once that cup is fully clear, there still may be remnants. You just can't see it. It's still in there. But yes, that is the significance of the cup that I always say all the time, is pour back into your own cup. And healing is a form of pouring back into your own cup, but we must understand how to heal. And I'm going to be speaking to you guys from a person who's currently going through a period of healing, a period of isolation and figuring these things out and pouring back into my own cup. I haven't had to do that in a while. And once again, we've become so accustomed to not pouring back into our own cup that it becomes a challenge. And that's kind of insane. Helping ourselves is harder than helping others. But yes, this is coming from a person who's currently going through the healing process and who has been through the healing process on multiple times. This is, I would say, my third significant time having to go through a healing process. So I'm able to speak about the differences and how I've handled each one of these situations. So I'll tell you right now, what are the steps into healing? What are the steps into healing yourself? The first step into healing yourself is you must become aware of self. You must be self-aware. You must somewhat hold a mirror up to yourself, or a mirror inside of your mind, and be able to reflect as well as face the issues that you have been suppressing, or anything that has been hurting you deep inside, and understand truly where they come from, or truly understand how they make you feel, why they make you feel, and how they affect you. And that's to any degree. I'll give you an example of maybe somebody have said something to you and you may have felt some type of way, and in that moment you were just more so worried about the fact that you felt some type of way, but not necessarily as to why you felt that type of way. That's the awareness that you need to be able to have. You need to be understanding of why are you feeling this type of way? Why are you going through these things? Why did these things affect you? Why did these things hurt you? Why do these things hurt you? That's where the self-awareness comes in. Why do they hurt you? Why do they have the ability to hurt you? How did this thing that happened to you, and we try not to say happen to you, we like to say happen for you, because there's always growth, there's always a positive. But how did this one thing happen to you cause a chain reaction inside of yourself in order to make you feel a type of way, a hurt or a confusion or something? How did it have such a long, sustaining effect on you that it has became a trauma? We must become self-aware. That takes a lot of work, and once again, that is an ongoing process. I feel like that is something very important in beginning your healing process, is becoming self-aware. Because how can you diagnose a problem if you aren't aware of the problem? Or even more so, you know there's a problem, but you don't know where to begin the diagnosis. And I won't dive too much into detail into becoming self-aware, as I have a video that is going to be in more detail in regards to that specific topic. But yes, you must become self-aware in order to heal yourself. You must understand what the problem is, where the problem is within you, and how it affects you in order to understand how to fix it. As only you truly know as to why you feel this type of way, as only you understand as to why it affects you this way, because it's within you. So yes, you must become self-aware and understand how to maneuver around these things that can potentially hurt you, or the things that have hurt you, or the things that's weighing on you, any of the trauma. So yes, becoming self-aware, that is one of the first steps. We must heal and become self-aware, because there's a little saying that goes around that hurt people hurt people. And this is something that I don't necessarily like to believe, because it's always a choice. Hurt people because they choose not to do the inner work, become self-aware, and understand how their traumas are going to affect them, and they end up expressing that towards others. They end up pushing that towards towards others. Yeah, that is my belief, but yes, there is a tendency of hurt people to hurt people because they haven't done that work in themselves, and they end up projecting their own issues or their own pain or hurt towards other people, and that is not okay. So you must be self-aware of yourself. You must be aware of yourself, and one of the ways of becoming more aware of yourself or self-aware is going to be through isolation and mending of yourself. And yes, we've made a video on that, being alone, going through an isolation period. I'll put it up on screen right now so you can hit the link and maybe watch that before coming back to this video. But yes, isolation, yes, isolation of being alone, yes, and mending to yourself. That means removing yourself from any of these environments that have been taking your energy away. Stop distracting yourself. Focus on yourself, putting the energy back into your cup. Once again, we talk about that cup. We can't stop talking about that cup. You must be able to focus on yourself and inner self and pour back into yourself. As who is the only person able to truly heal you? You and God. In order to heal yourself, you must remove yourself. You must detach from the world and attach to yourself and be able to peer inside of yourself. Once again, this goes hand in hand with being self-aware and really looking at your true self and your problems and diagnosing yourself. Like I said, I'm currently going through a period of isolation, and yeah, it sucks. And I've always been to a higher degree of being self-aware, but I'm being presented with things right now that I didn't even know were deep down inside of myself this entire time. So when you're healing, you must go through a period of isolation. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. We've talked about that already. But yes, it is something that is absolutely necessary in order to begin your healing process. Within your healing process, this right here is going to be the meat and potatoes of it all. It's going to be the cycle of grief. You're going to grieve yourself. You're going to grieve these people. You're going to grieve anything that you had to separate yourself to or change in order to begin the healing process on yourself. Let me expand upon the cycle and stages of grief if you don't know what they are. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. Let me tell you about these stages. Although when you look into them, there's something that are going to be set up in layers, as if you go through one, then the next, or sequential. But that is not the case at all. It is a cycle. It's a random cycle, each one of these things. But generally, your first time through, when you're going through this process of your healing, you will tend to go through each and one of these phases. Now let's go ahead and talk about these phases. Denial. And this is one of the biggest, this is one of the harder stages, I'd say, for myself, especially when it comes to dealing with the hurt, when it comes to people and something that you may understand yourself. It's because you can't believe it. You don't want to accept that you have to heal. You don't want to accept the current situation that puts you in a hurt mindset. You don't want to accept how someone has done you, or you don't want to truly see it for what it is. That is the first stage. You don't want to see it for what it is, and it's going to be very taxing on you. And you're going to be inside of your mind trying to trick yourself into anything you can do besides accepting what it is. But that's part of the process that you must accept. You must go through this. You must face this. After you've built up some degree of acceptance and move a little bit past the stage of denial in your cycle of grief, you're going to come to the stage of anger. You're going to come to the stage of anger. You're going to be mad at yourself. You're going to be mad that you allowed yourself to get put in this state of vulnerability. You're going to be mad that someone may have influenced you or hurt you enough to put you in this state of vulnerability. Especially, once again, if it comes to people. I know recently when something happened to me, I was so angry at this person. I was angry at myself for allowing these things to happen. And it somewhat felt as if my anger at some point was going to turn into hate. But yes, you're going to be angry. You're going to be very upset. Blistering fury. I know you've seen that on SpongeBob before at some point, if you're from the generation I am. Blistering for you're going to be very upset going through your anger stage of grief. Angry at yourself, angry at the world, angry that it happened, angry at the person, angry at any of these things. But understand that it's something that you have to go through. And up next in the cycle, you have bargaining. This is something that I had a very big issue with as well, is whether it's bargaining with myself or bargaining with the activity or person, or really I would put emphasis on the person for myself, and maybe even in your situation, you may be bargaining as a form of coping in order to pull yourself out of this current stage that you're in, or maybe avoid the process of healing. This is a portion of the make or break of healing. A lot of the times when it comes to healing and going through the stages of grief, we tend to bargain with the things and people who have put us in that in order to pull ourselves out of that. You'll try to bargain with this person in order to understand the actions that they took, or the things that happened to you, or the things that you've done yourself, in order to find some form of excuse to not feel as bad about it, or to pull yourself out of grief, or to pull yourself out of the healing process, because once again, we don't like to be in uncomfortable spaces. Depression. This one is a very big one. A lot of the times when it comes to the process of healing and trauma and hurt upon people, it's usually caused by other people. You're going to be depressed. At one point in my life, I didn't believe in depression. I thought it was fake. I'm sitting here thinking about, bro, why won't you just be happy? Just be happy. Depression is fake. No, it is a very real thing. This is something that I didn't learn until I began my journey of healing to truly understand what it is and experience what it is. You're going to be depressed about your detachment from this person, detachment from this activity, and you're going to be also you're going to be sad also to some point, because you're going to have to change something within yourself. You're going to have to grieve yourself. You're going to be sad and depressed about having to shed that shell of yourself and become a new version of yourself. You're going to be mourning. You're going to be grieving and sad about the former version of yourself that is going through it and has went through it. You understand that. And if you don't, you must understand that. That is one of the hardest ones to get out of the depressive state, but you must be able to hone in and find the positives and welcome the change, because a lot of that depression or that grief is going to be coming from the changes that you know that you have to make to yourself within this process. That also goes to my video about change. You might can check that out on my channel. But the glory of going through grief is the acceptance. Once you get to the stage of acceptance, everything tends to start getting a lot better. And it'll come in waves. At some point, you feel as if you've accepted your current conditions. You understand why you feel the way that you feel. You may not be mad at this person anymore. You may not be sad about this person or any of these detachments or any of those things anymore. And then guess what? The cycle starts all over again. But every single time that you go through this cycle, you're diluting that cup. So yes, at the end of it all, it'll be acceptance. You'll be able to truly accept for what happened. You'll be able to truly accept the things that happened to you, why they happened, who inflicted them, and the pain that came with it. And also, you'll be able to accept the changes that are going to come and the changes that you have to make to yourself and your environment and your future in order to pull yourself back together and be healed. Those are the stages and things that you will go through throughout this process of healing. And it is very tough, but you must continue to cycle. You must continue to dilute that cup. Keep pouring back into that cup, even though you feel as if anything might be changing. You may feel as if you're not getting diluted, but I promise to you, keep going through that cycle. You will find clarity. You will find acceptance. Continue to go through that cycle. You will find clarity. You will be diluted. You will heal. A lot of people don't like to do this because they don't want to go through that cycle, but understand that you have to go through this cycle in order to be a better person. You want to be a stronger person. You want to be a more emotionally intelligent person. You want to be a more self-aware person. You don't want to be the person who hurts other people because they refuse to do that inner work. So you must heal. You must heal. Understand that you must heal, and understand this next thing that I am about to say to you, because this is something that you must have. This is probably the most important thing throughout this entire process that you must have, and you will go through, and you have to. Otherwise, this is the make or break. Truly, this is the success or fail. Believing in yourself, believing that you can heal, believing that you can take this pain or any trauma or anything that you have been through in life and be able to walk past it. Believe that there are going to be greater days. Have faith. That's what it is have faith within yourself. Have faith that there are going to be better days. Have faith that you can take control of yourself. Have faith that you can become more self-aware. You can control yourself more, and that these things you're going to be able to work past them. And also in that, having faith in yourself. Once again, the two are intertwined. Having faith in yourself and having faith in God, because you are God's creation. Have faith in Him that He cannot fail you and that He will continue to provide for you and bring you through this time that you're going through. Bring you to salvation. Bring you to prosperity. Once again, bring you back to peace. Take away that pain that has been inflicted upon you. Because understand that He sees all and He knows all. He knows the things that you're going through. And these things, once again, a lot of the times feel like they happen to you. And sadly, sometimes things do happen to you, but we like to shift that perspective and understand that things happen for you. And if God is the one who has been facilitating these things to happen for you, He's building you up to be stronger, to be more emotionally intelligent, all of these things that we mentioned before. You must be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're going through these phases of depression, the sadness, the stages of grief. When you're healing yourself, you must have the faith that things are going to get better. You must understand the fact that things were better at one point and they can be better again. Once again, it's the storm. It's beautiful before the storm. During the storm, it sucks. People think just, oh, it's bad, it's not going to get better. And then guess what? It's beautiful again after the storm. So you must apply that to yourself. When you're going through this process of healing, when you're going through this process of grieving, you must understand that it was beautiful before, it sucks while you're in it, and things are going to get better. If you don't have faith in yourself, when you begin your healing journey, you're going to be failing yourself. You're going to fail yourself. You have to have faith in yourself. You have to have something that's going to motivate and push yourself to continue to go through this cycle. Once again, this is probably my third big time inside of life right now where I've had to heal myself. Truly, third time where I've had to heal myself. And this one honestly has hit the hardest because I've done the self-work already. I've had the uncomfortable conversations with myself. I've been through this multiple times. I've been through the cycle multiple times, but it felt as if it wasn't going to end. Once I began to realize that I have faith inside of myself and I have faith in God, that things are going to be better, things were better, and that they will get better, all of a sudden everything started to get better. I've had more acceptance. I've started focusing on my purpose more. I'm starting to move past these things. And yes, I'm still going through it. Like right now, I'm probably balancing between the stages of anger as well as acceptance right now. Yeah, we got a little bit of sadness and depression in there, but I understand that I'm making progress. Understand that you will make progress through it and you will get through this cycle. So take that first step. Take that first step into healing. Take that first step into becoming more self-aware about yourself. Take that first step so you don't perpetuate this cycle of hurt people and passing hurt around and projecting everything. Take that first step into healing yourself, becoming self-aware, emotionally stable, understanding more within yourself, having better faith inside of yourself. It's going to be hard. It's going to be some lonely nights. It's going to be very uncomfortable, like I said, with everything. But you got to go through it. The most uncomfortable things are the things that are going to be great for us. I promise to you, the hard things are always going to be great for us. It's never going to be the easy ones. It's never going to be the easy things. You can't sit here and push this pain away and push this trauma away and all this hurt away and think that it's not going to pop back up. I promise to you, you can't think that. You're in for a rude awakening. Due to not healing yourself, you might flash out in one of the emotions to the extreme and lose opportunities inside of your life. You may react a certain way when it comes to certain people inside of your life and end up affecting them and losing them or end up hurting them. You can't do that. You can't do it. I promise to you, you must heal. You must heal. I refuse to be one of those people that hurt people because I don't believe hurt people have to hurt people. I believe I can work through my trauma. I believe I can fix myself and I don't have to inflict the pain on others that others have inflicted on me. Sometimes it's going to feel as if maybe I need to get my get back, and that's just a natural human response. Somebody hurt me. I mean, they tell you all the time, somebody punch you in school, you got to punch them back. Instead of spreading that pain to other people, I'm going to punch the world back, or I'm going to stand on all 10 to show the world that, hey, you knocked me down, and guess what? I come back stronger, and that's what healing is about. So let's get to it, man. Let's have some faith. I don't know what you're going through. If you feel the need to tell me what you're going through or anything like that, or where you're at within your healing journey, drop that down in the comments right now. I'll respond. I promise to you, I'll respond. Or hit me up on Instagram or anything like that. We can talk about it. I can tell you more things about the things that I've been through. But yeah, drop a comment. But let's get to it. You must heal. Understand you must heal. You must heal, and it's okay. It's going to be hard. Like I said, I'm going through it. I'm going through the process right now. This ain't your first time. Chances are this is not your first time. And you may not see the light at the tunnel, but I promise to you, just keep your head up. Even if you got your head down, keep faith. And I promise to you, he will show you light. He will guide you. Faith will guide you. So with that being said, let's get uncomfortable and let's heal. One breath, one step, one day at a time. We're going to heal ourselves. We're going to feel better. We're not going to perpetuate the cycle. It's going to be all right. We going through it. We've been through it. All right. Y'all have a blessed one.